So today, class, I'm talking about prop and jet engines. My essential question is, what is the difference between the two engines? And of course, jet engines are faster and prop engines are more economical because it burns less gas. And there's two pictures. Next slide. Now we start with prop planes, and an overview of this page says prop planes provide a more conservative route to flying across the world. However, the rides consist of more turbulence as well as more noise outside from the engines. More times than not, prop planes are also smaller than jets. They carry less people, have smaller engines, and consist of less power. Now you have your first type of prop plane. It's a prop fan, and it's basically the same thing as a turbo fan, and it's a mix between a prop engine and a jet engine into one, but you still have the prop on the front of the plane. And these kind of engines are used for like shorter, medium-range flights, and they're also used in the military, but they have dwindled out slowly in the military because jets have enhanced to greater technologies. And then you have your next type of prop. And turbo props are the most efficient, and they're also a mix between the two. And I've actually worked with turbo props myself, and they carry the same flight span as medium and short range, and they're used for tactical missions like endurance, tactical missions, lower flight altitudes, and in the military, but they're also used in the commercial airliners as well. And then my experience with prop engines, I've worked with both jets and engines. Most of my experience comes from working with prop engines. I still do not know every moving part or what every part does to the prop engine, but I'm learning quickly. And I've done a lot of tasks on prop engines, like replacing the oil. I've checked the compressions on spark plugs. I've cleaned spark plugs. I've actually replaced the engine. What else have I done? I've also done other body work on the planes as well. And then, like you see here, here's a commercial liner prop plane right here. And this one's different because the prop engine, the wings are actually on top of the plane. And most planes with prop engines, the wings are on the bottom side of the plane. And then here's the sound of the prop engine. Next, we have jet engines. Here's an overview of the jet engine page. Jets cost more money for the buyer and customer to use, but the pros for the use of the plane outweigh the cons of this powerful plane. Jets' capabilities go far beyond the capabilities of prop planes, such as the power the engine produces, the speeds they are able to maintain, and the altitudes they are capable of flying at. There's basically one type of jet engine. It's a turbofan engine, and it's basically a cylinder, and it has stators that go throughout the cylinder, and air goes into the cylinders, and the stators compress the air as the air goes into the cylinders. And as it goes through, the cylinder gets smaller and smaller to where the air wants to get out the back of the engine, and it thrusts the plane forward because the cylinder gets smaller and the air gets compressed so much. So it's a very efficient engine, and these type of engines keep airliners running because they are so efficient, and they can take so many flights back to back to back. However, prop planes have to be maintained so much more than jets, and they're able to do the long haul flights just like they fly overseas often in airliners, and they're also in our military, and they fly at Mach 0.8 to 0.85, which is 600 to 650 miles an hour, and they fly between 32 and 35,000 feet, and They are just used in every jet. And then my experiences with jet engines, my main experience came this last week. We have in the maintenance hangar at Lanier Flight Center, we have Conquest 1985, and it's actually a turboprop engine, but most of the engine is a jet engine. And the jet engine is, like I just explained, it gets smaller as it goes. And there's this guy from Pratt & Whitney, which is a main jet engine company that works on planes for large airliners. And he came in and he had this tool where he inserted a camera down into the cylinder of the jet engine. And with this tool, it had a camera and a light, and you could go in there and see the erosion and the paint and the parts of every moving thing in the engine, and inspect it to see if there's anything wrong with the inside of the engine. And it took about 2-3 hours, and I mean the jet engine was only about that big, and it took him that long to inspect that little bit of space with this $20,000 machine. And it helped me learn and understand the side of the jet engine a lot, because I'd never even worked with a jet engine. And here's the sound of a jet. It's much higher pitched. Oh, you already played it. You gotta rewind it. It's like a whistle, basically. And then I have my annotated bibliographies, which is where I cited my work from. And this is basically about huge mega airliners. See, they're coming out with a 522 passenger airliner, which is massive. And then this is the source about military aircraft and the engines all together. And then I have my work, which is my interview with my peers that I work with at my internship. I asked them a bunch of questions, and then these are my sources. This is a link to my blog about my internship, and this is where I'm going to put the video in. And that is my website.
Can you tell us some of the interview questions?
Yes. Wes, which is a guy that has worked with Delta, I asked him if he'd worked on jets before I knew he worked with Delta. And he said yes, he worked for Delta for 3 years. And he was night shift at Atlanta Hartsfield Airport. And he worked 12-hour shifts on these jets coming in constantly. And asked him if he liked his job at Delta. He said he loved his job, but it wasn't worth the money and the hours that he was spending, because his wife would go to work and work a day shift, so they would essentially only see each other for about 1 hour.